you know, from where I come from, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Excuse me. And I've experienced living in abandoned homes um, by choice, just as what I'm doing now is by choice. But I've experienced being without the cash flow of the world. And again, it was by choice. And I experienced how God provided for me even during that choice of being without a job and choosing to live, getting it how I live in the hood, just again living in 3 different abandoned houses year after year after year. Each year I relocated to a new abandoned house. And that journey, I have no regrets about it because again, it was by choice and I learned a lot of lessons during that phase of my life of being without a job and knowing how God will provide. And after that phase of my life, I experienced what it feels like to, from where I'm from, 10,000 a month, 100 a year, 100,000 a year. That's a lot of money. In my book, that's a lot of money. But while you get used to that money, that's really, you get to the point, that's no money. After a while, that's it could get a lot more than that. So those who don't have it would think that's a whole lot of money. But the point I'm getting to is I've been down and I've been up to the level of where I was at. That was up to me. And I knew that I could have gotten even further up regarding cash flows from the world. I could have gotten even further up. That was my mentality, to where God taught me how to get wealth. And he also taught me how to be without wealth. And it's like when you're starting without wealth, you don't know that you're learning to live without wealth. Because now it's like, now God is teaching me how to live without wealth. Even though I know where I am at this stage of my life, it's very familiar. Even the home I'm in now some people might call it an abandoned house. The condition of my home, it's a fixer-upper, but it's home for me. And regarding my finances, it's almost at the point of where it was when I chose to not have finances years back. But during that time, I wasn't learning to be without money. But it's like God taught me how to gain wealth of the world. Now It's like he's teaching me how to be without money in the world. It's like to me in my heart, it's like, what's more important? Gaining wealth of the world is not important to me anymore. That is not my focus. That is not my goal. But I know in this world you need money, whatever. But the different battles that you're faced with at certain times, it's always regarding money. And I am trying to downsize everything that has to do with money. I don't want to pay for this. I don't want to pay for that. I don't want to pay for any other. I want everything to be self-sustaining of its own produce, maintaining of its own currency that doesn't have anything to do with money. Growing my own food, wanting to learn how to raise chickens or fish, have your own pond, to have your own fish, to even go fishing, to even think about what cows and pigs and goats and those things. They're producing their own wealth in their own way. Having your own land, owning your own home, owning your own vehicles, whatever it takes to survive in the world. We're in it, but I'm not of it. Money is not my motivation. Now it's like God is really teaching me. He taught me how to go about gaining wealth in the different careers and investments I made, and I was on the path of learning how to gain wealth. And if I would have kept participating in it, I would have reached a lot goals and kept reaching for those goals. But reaching for those goals kept me in a tight wad. It kept me amped up to where I feel God said, okay, I think you learned the lesson of how to gain wealth. Now it's time you learn how to let go of it. It's crazy, man. So I try to balance my attitudes with different challenges and battles I go through, all around money. And it's like God have to keep bringing me back to the core, the center of where I'm at on learning to let go of the drive to gain wealth. That's not my drive to gain wealth anymore. So I can't have the same attitudes about what's going on regarding finances in my life. And I know that's where a lot of us is at this time, but a lot of us don't want to face the fact that on one end, we face the fact that there is peace. I remember I had a friend when I was, that was trying to instill in me about less is more. It's like when they came to my house had a lot of different types of possessions and things. And it's like they saw it as too much. My mind was not enough. Bigger and more. But did I say more? No, bigger and more. I don't know what I said. And now my mentality at this level, I see what they were talking about. I want the convenience of life. I would love to live half off grid and half on grid. I don't want to be totally off grid, no lights, no water. I'm not trying to go back that far, not at this time, but I don't want to depend on lights and depend on water, not of the system. If I want to flip a light switch, I want to be able to flip a light switch. If that light switch don't turn on a light, I have other means of having light. If I want to turn on a faucet and get water out of a faucet, I want to do that. But if that faucet don't put water out of there, I have other means for water. If anything go down regarding food at the grocery store or this or that, and I don't want to go to a grocery store, I have other means about producing my own food. So yeah, it's like the classroom of you learned how to gain wealth. Now learn how to be without wealth. Even though that's where I came from, without wealth. But at that time in my life, I wasn't learning how to not have wealth. That's just the way I was living without wealth. Now I'm learning to live without wealth. That's crazy. And so it's like, if you never had it, you don't know what it is when you get it. And then when you don't have it no more, now you got to learn how to be without it. But it's no big deal. But it is a challenge on keeping your emotions and your attitudes in check. Because when things go to messing with your money, when things is taking too long to be taken care of, that's involving money, it's test. Now you're tested. Where's your wealth? Because we're rich and it has nothing to do with money. I'm rich in spirit. I'm wealthy in spirit. And that's what I have to keep reminding myself. My goal isn't to gain money. My goal is to gain wealth and riches of a different kind of money, currency. I'm working towards achieving those riches. Rich in my spirit, rich in my soul, rich in my wisdom, rich in my peace. Rich in my connections with humanity. Building wealth and riches with human connections. I'm desiring those riches. It's a whole different focus. Less is more. less is more. Depending upon what we're talking about. Have a blessed day.